The kind of active politics that is going on in Nigeria today cannot be compared to any other time in Nigeria's history. This is because of all the leadership crises rocking major opposition parties. The PDP is rocked by a leadership crisis. They fixed a meeting to be held in March. Let's see if that one will hold in order to resolve their crisis. Unlike many others they fixed in the past that never held, the Labour Party is rocked by a leadership crisis. Abure and co are sticking to their guns that they are the real leaders of the party despite the fact that their tenures ended after conducting a sham convention at Nnewi in Anambra State. So a neutral observer might not be wrong in saying that the APC, the party in power, are the ones fomenting trouble in opposition parties. When you look at how they talk, representatives of the party and the government, their body language, their attitude, you will see that they are fixated on the opposition. It's like the campaigns never ended. We are in a perpetual campaign mode. They have refused to face governance. That's why Atiku Abubakar made the allegation that they are paying 50 million naira to some people in opposition parties every month just to foment trouble. After Atiku Abubakar made this statement at the National Conference on Strengthening Democracy in Nigeria, Labour Party quickly jumped in defense of APC. They don't even hide it, whether it was Abure or Arabambi, whoever, but they urged Atiku Abubakar to show proof of his statement. So they actually proved him right. Yes, he didn't mention any name. He didn't say it was Arabambi. He didn't say it was this person that was being paid by APC 50 million naira every month. But they jumped in defense of APC, despite wearing the banner of opposition. They are not even ashamed of themselves. Even if someone is paying you to destabilize another party or the party you claim to be a member of, why not at least be discreet about it? Why not pretend to belong to the party? Also, other groups belonging to APC or affiliated to them have all come hard on Atiku Abubakar, telling him to show proof that APC government is paying people 50 million naira to destabilize opposition parties. Now, Bala Ibrahim, APC National Publicity Director, took it to another level while speaking in an interview with Punch newspapers. He said that Nigeria was still suffering from the rot of the 16-year misrule of the PDP. That party is gone. Are these the clowns people are taking seriously to rule this country again? Believe me, this is just the beginning. We at the APC are enjoying the entertainment. The party is not good at managing anything, including itself. What is happening has shown that God came to the rescue of Nigerians by pushing them out of power. There are more to come. If you go into the nitty-gritty of the problems in that party, they should come and learn how to play politics in our APC Progressive Institute set up by the national chairman of the APC, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje. They will be taught how to play politics without bitterness. On the accusation that Tinubu and APC are paying people in PDP to foment crisis, he asked, how is the APC responsible for the crisis that is happening at Wadata Plaza? We are not even staying close, so how can they blame us for their woes? What does APC have to do with having different secretaries and 2 chairmen or whatever they seem to have? They simply don't know how to administer anything, and they cannot. Who among the Protestants is a card-carrying member of the APC? Who among the people causing the crisis is claiming allegiance to APC? None. It is within them. On the show of shame that happened at the PDP headquarters, where thugs were fighting each other, invading the premises, he's right about it. But calling 16 years of PDP as a misrule or trying to compare that to the low-cost years of APC, there's no basis for comparison whatsoever. Any adult in Nigeria today knows the truth. Are we going to talk about petrol price? They met it at 87 naira per litre. Look at the campaign posters of Buhari and Goodluck Jonathan before 2015 presidential election. You can see the price of petrol at the time. Compare that to how much petrol is being sold today. Let's use an average of 1,100 naira per litre. So you can see for the price of 1 litre today, you could buy 13 litres in 2015. That's the legacy of APC government. There's no basis for comparison whatsoever. What about the exchange rate? The exchange rate and the price of petrol are the two most important things that matter in Nigeria's economy because we depend so much on petrol for transportation and movement of goods. We don't have a railway network that should run on electricity in order to free off over-dependence on petrol or other fuels. We also depend on the exchange rate because we are an import-dependent economy. If the dollar exchange rate is too high, that means it will drive the cost of goods high. Now, the first APC administration of Muhammadu Buhari, who took over power from Goodluck Jonathan of the PDP in 2015, he met the Naira-dollar exchange rate at about 190 Naira to $1. While leaving office in 2023, the exchange rate was 461 Naira to $1. Today, it is exchanging for above 1,650 Naira to $1. So, under a space of 10 years, the APC administration of Muhammadu Buhari and Tinubu have devalued the Naira by more than 700%, from 190 Naira to $1 to 1,650 Naira to $1. Remember that at the time last year, it exchanged for above 1,800 Naira to $1. So there's no comparison whatsoever. They can't face governance. Nigerians made a massive mistake in 2015, believing that Buhari would be the savior, but it turned out a complete failure. He couldn't even tackle security because at that time, many people were focused on security. Going by his antecedent as a military general, many genuinely felt that he would tackle security. He would bring all this banditry, terrorism to a standstill. But today, the reverse is the case. His state, Katsina State, is the worst hit in insecurity. As if the damage Buhari caused to the Nigerian economy wasn't enough, Tinubu has taken it to another level completely, another planet. Imagine petrol price that Buhari met at 87 Naira and left at 185 Naira per litre. He has taken it to above 1,000 Naira per litre. As someone that comes from the private sector, who is supposed to know more than a former military general, at least Buhari understood that increasing the price of petrol or devaluing the Naira would seriously affect Nigeria's economy. But here we are, they are bragging and telling Nigerians that they should wait for the rainy day, the day all these failed policies would materialize, while they are here today, living in the now, bragging on top of it, condemning the people that gave Nigerians a better life. Yes, it's understandable that the leaders in the party today, that's talking about PDP, cannot be compared to leaders of the PDP under Obasanjo, Yar'Adua, Goodluck Jonathan. They can't be compared, but at least they are still far better and they have better possibilities of producing better leaders than what we have in APC today. And going by the policies of the current administration, it shows that Buhari is even more knowledgeable than Tinubu as far as the economy is concerned. There's no doubt about that, because Nigerians weren't suffering as they are suffering now under Buhari's administration. Also, going by the way they've been arresting, intimidating and charging people to court, trampling on people's free speech, he has proven to be more of a dictator than Buhari, who is a former military general. That tells you all you need to know. Even going by APC standards, the administration has gone from bad to worse. Yes, that's the reality. Now, let's talk about the election between the two APC administrations. Buhari came to power in 2015. He defeated an incumbent, Goodluck Jonathan. He didn't bother about electoral reforms in 2019. He contested almost based on the same platform, the 2010 Electoral Act. What he focused mainly was on the judiciary. He tried to manipulate justices of the Supreme Court to make sure he would get a favorable judgment or not to have justices loyal to the opposition. He was so sure that he would win the 2019 presidential election. That was why, that's maybe, he didn't bother to reform the electoral process. But after he won that election, he decided to leave a legacy of free and fair elections in Nigeria. That was why they introduced BVAS, IREV and everything. But at the end of the day, they found a way to rig the whole process. So when you make comparison between the two administrations, how elections are rigged blatantly now, they even brag to your face that you won't do anything. Like this scene from Edo Governorship Tribunal where thugs are harassing officials and policemen are even begging them to stop. So they tell you to your face, we will rig, you won't do anything, we'll chase you out of the state, we'll do this to you, we'll do that to you. The audacity now is far worse than what was obtainable under Buhari's administration. Not that Buhari is a saint, but the current administration is trying hard to prove that he is a saint indeed. He tried to reform the electoral process. Yes, many might say that he was selfish about it. Why didn't he do it prior to 2019 presidential election? Was he afraid that he would have lost the election or something like that? But at least he tried to do something. He tried to leave a legacy. No matter how bad you might perceive him, but he tried to do something. That's the most important thing. Under this administration, they are only trying to impose themselves on Nigerians. They are not trying to do anything that will benefit Nigerians. It's as if Nigerians did something to Tinubu. He's trying hard to punish people. Everything is about punishment, inflicting damage, inflicting hardship. Why is everything about rice, palliative? They can never do anything that will make people to buy that rice by themselves, be able to afford it by themselves. Instead of people depending on government handout, it is not sustainable. Do the right thing. It is only the right thing that can guarantee that you will win an election without even campaigning much. Nigerians are not hard to govern. Politicians make it as if they are hard. No. And Nigerians don't know how to hold grudges against corrupt politicians who impoverish them. If you are expected to do 100% and you do only 10%, Nigerians will hype that 10% for you to up to 50%. And based on that alone, they can vote you. That's how Nigeria works. But the worst part is that they are not even doing anything at all. They're only engaging in politics, destabilization here and there, plotting from day one how to win 2027 presidential election when they can't even face governance. So Nigerians know the APC strategy as summed up by Kayode Fayemi, the former Ekiti state governor, in a speech he made about the petrol subsidy removal. They knew that it was better for Nigeria to remove petrol subsidy under Goodluck Jonathan when Nigerians could afford it, because Nigerians were better off at that time. The purchasing power was high, GDP was high, everything was nearly going better compared to today. But they still campaigned against it. They shut down this country for weeks just because of politics. Let's hear him.
Adversarial politics always breeds division and enmity. Even when what President Jonathan is doing, which 10 or so years after, all the political parties in this country agreed with. They even put it in their manifesto. Subsidy must be removed. We in ACN at the time in 2012, we know the truth, sir, but it is all politics. And that is why we must ensure that everybody is a critical stakeholder.